You just did that. I heard it. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the one, the only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. It is your host, your boy, Rumboyz Robbie, aka the Admiral, and I'm here with my co-host for this segment, for this episode that we're doing today, NFL Draft Pre-Show Live. Welcome, Jordan Love.
What's good, bro? I mean, it's draft day, so I'm out here. Been a long day, been a long few weeks, but it's finally here.
Yeah, it has been a long day. It has been a long few weeks. My phone has not stopped going off, and it's been quite a shame. Tyler, hit me up later. We can get you on the panel for later on tonight. DM me. Hit me up on Twitter. Rumboyz spelled with a Z. N-E-T is where all of you guys can find me. Shout out to everybody that's viewing on Periscope. Shout out to everybody that's viewing on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that is viewing on sportscaster.com. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. First thing I actually want to lead off with, I have this here with me already pulled up. I know that you wanted to kind of dive to. You said that you want to dive into some of the trade scenarios first, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing when it comes to these drafts. When it comes to all these mock drafts that are coming out, everybody's going off of base order because that's probably the best thing we can go off of. Luckily, in our mock draft, we kind of predicted a couple trades. Whether or not those actually come to fruition is up for debate. But, of course, here in like 5-6 hours, we'll find out. The Lions are the first team that are coming up in these trade rumors. They are moving back more than likely. New player coming up for this Lions pick, though, is the Jags. The Jags are apparently trying to move up, more than likely to not get Tua. From what I'm understanding, it is to get an offensive lineman. That's what I've heard. And I wouldn't understand moving up that far for an offensive lineman, so maybe that's smoking. They do want a quarterback. That's that. But this draft is probably going to be one of the most trade-riddled scenarios where we'll have a trade every other pick, and people moving from the end of the draft to the front of the draft just to figure everything out.
Yeah, teams that I found fascinating that I was not hearing any type of trade talks about up until, I want to say, a couple of hours ago, 2-3 hours ago. The Falcons may be looking at maybe moving around. I've been hearing about maybe moving back just so they can sit back and maybe see if they can get a 1-2 punch to Todd Gurley. I've heard them about possibly moving up to maybe establish some more O-line there, or even going to get defensive help across from Gandy. So that's what I've heard. Yep, I've heard different things with ATL. But shout out to them for their new jerseys. I'm the only person in the media that likes them, apparently.
Hey, the All Blacks are clean, but the other ones they're not it.
I got ripped apart for the jerseys that I liked, so it's all good. But no, I mean, so I've heard about Atlanta. That one fascinates me and intrigues me. I kind of felt that they should have been already in talks about maybe moving around, going to get some defensive help. One that I find interesting as well. Oh shit! This was just at the top of my brain. The Cleveland Browns heavily meeting with Ezra Cleveland.
They moved back far. Okay, look, I don't think this is smoke because if you look at it, Ezra Cleveland does project to be a left tackle in the NFL. He's a highly athletic tackle. He's probably the second most athletic tackle in this class behind Tristan Wirfs. He's going to be somebody that can get off the line. He gets to that second level. But that's just really, really high. If they want Ezra Cleveland, I would see them moving from 10 to like 24. Ezra Cleveland's my offensive tackle 6. So he's behind Josh Jones. He's
in the second round.
Yeah.
To the Los Angeles Chargers, aka the Carson Chargers, offensive tackle out of Boise State.
Yeah, no, he's a good player and he has high upside just because of that athleticism, but that's just really, really high. I would expect them to like Jedrick Wills or Andrew Thomas a lot more.
Absolutely. I mean, and they have some of the draft scenarios and some of the trade scenarios that I've been hearing today. It's like you have the ability to where you can go and get one of these better guys. Why go back and move back and settle? I guess, of course, obviously, going to get players. Maybe this is a scenario where Cleveland decides, hey, we want to try and really pursue that Trent Williams thing over there at Washington. Let's see if maybe we can, scale back, and then we go, we get, and we settle on Ezra Cleveland. We lose out on the top lineman, and we go and get Cleveland. And maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know.
I saw somebody mention Yannick Ngakoue in the chat. Who was it? Somebody did mention Yannick Ngakoue. As for that, we did have him traded in our mock to the Seahawks because it looks like by any chance Davion Clowney is not going back to Seattle. They needed edge rusher because LJ Collier, who they drafted in the first round, not it.
Hey, don't know hypes there. Colts trying to trade up. You're amazing. Get Young. I think that we are going to get Young. I would be interested to see if the Colts are going to trade up. Appreciate that. Don't know hype.
I can see the Colts trading up because their biggest issue outside of a quarterback, in my opinion, they need a wide receiver, and this is a wide receiver heavy class. If one of them falls, there you go. Move up. Yeah, Yannick Ngakoue I expect to be traded. Seattle's a good spot. I heard he loves Philly. Sorry, Robbie. That'd be terrible for you. But
my thing with Yannick Ngakoue is his recent Twitter rants hurts where he can be moved, and if there's a possibility of him being moved, and that does worry me. I feel like that could sway a couple of different ways. I mean, I don't think that there's a team that's really going to go all in for him, knowing that there's this temper tantrum 5-year-old problem that he has.
I mean, he does have a point though. Should he act like that? Nah. But he has a point. I mean, if you look at him, if you actually piece together what he's saying, he's literally saying like, Warriors are kind of are preventing him from getting his bag, which is true. They're preventing him from providing with his family, which is true. So he has a reason. And I mean, I saw this come up a few days ago when people were talking about the whole Yannick Ngakoue situation. GMs have their job to spend as little money per player as possible. Players are in it to get as much money as they can possible. So
exactly.
That's the game. It's finding that middle balance, and the Jaguars are apparently on opposite spectrums when it comes to that with Yannick Ngakoue. So trade him so he can go get his money.
Okay. Freaking Bills Mafia, Rob. Wow. I'm sorry, I forgot. I just missed on what I was going to say. In reference to Yannick Ngakoue, I mean, I hope that he gets his bag. I hope that he gets his money. I hope that he lands in a place to where he can perform and he can excel at a high level, because that's what he does. It just sucks that he could be hurting his own bag because of that Twitter rant, because of all of that. Hopefully he ends up in a nice spot. I don't know why he would like Philly. I guess Philly, you're trying to rebuild your underdog team, where you guys had that nasty defense. That would make sense. But then if you're going to go to Philly, I mean, what's Philly gonna do? In terms, they have to lock in a receiver. Like Philadelphia cannot afford to get out of the first round.
I'm sorry. Yannick Ngakoue is not getting traded for a first-round pick anymore. We had that mock in our mock, but his value is not a first-round pick anymore. I think at most the team's giving up.
Because of
the Twitter rant really secured that. But I think that's what was interesting enough and why he hasn't been traded already. Jags want a first-round pick because he's that caliber of a player. Through his first 4 seasons, the lowest amount of sacks he's had is 8.5. So he's productive.
So if you're the Jags, do you maybe scale back and you're like, hey, we'll go second and a fourth? You know,
and they're probably lower than that. It's probably like a third and a fourth, a second, maybe a second and a sixth. But he's not getting traded for a first round pick anymore.
Way to shoot yourself in your own foot, getting Yannick.
I think he knew what he was doing, to be honest, because if the Jags want a first round pick and teams don't want to give him up for that, him doing this is forcing the Jags to move him for less. So I think he knew what he was doing.
Hurts your previous team, hurts your previous brand. I like it. OJ Howard clearly out of there. Cameron Brate has outperformed him in previous seasons, so we felt that either way, before Rob Gronkowski entering, which I reported on yesterday from a car, like this 30 fucking Kia. Before Rob Gronkowski coming in, we kind of had already figured that shit was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Now with Rob Gronkowski there, it's definitely gonna go down. I mentioned this before on the Run Report, where I very well see Tampa calling up Washington and saying, hey, we'll take one of your later round picks. You know, we'll take anything but your first round. And you want to go ahead and take OJ Howard off our hands. One, you have to if you're Tampa Bay. That frees up some extra money for you anyways off the books.
Yeah.
You know, you got to move him, period, point blank in the story. Bruce Arians never had more than 2 tight ends in a freaking room at a time. And anytime there is that third guy, they're usually just someone that's trash, garbage, if you will. Given this, where do you think that OJ Howard goes? Do you think that my theory is one that could be very well supported?
I mean, I get it because you do want that security net for Dwayne Haskins, since he at this point does appear to be your franchise QB. At least you're rocking him out for this year. He did not have that weapon last year. Don't come at me with the Terry McLaurin. I know F1 McLaurin, good speedster. He'll run them routes. My issue is that he's just not a big body, and he's not a guy who, when Haskins is under duress behind that O-line, he can't just throw that ball to somebody like an OJ Howard. And even though people want to come out here and say OJ Howard's never had over 700 yards receiving in a season, he had over 1,000 in his last year at Alabama. He has good hands. It's just the fact that Jameis Winston was throwing him the ball. And he's in my eyes. Look, in my eyes, this is my thing. This is a weak tight end class. No tight end is going in the first round this year. There's even a debate to see no tight end going in the second. So if you go to the third round and have a guy who went in the first round who's still only 25 and has that potential, I trade a third round pick for OJ Howard, no doubt, if I need a tight end. If I'm Arizona, look, I have a 4th round pick. I'll send a 4th and Max Williams, who's our starting tight end right now, for OJ Howard, and bet because he can play H-back for the Bucks. And there you go. There's a fullback for Todd Gurley, Todd Gurley loves a fullback. There.
Well, Todd Gurley's with Atlanta. You missed that up. I just gotcha.
You're right. Gotcha. My bad. I'm more so thinking about they're going to draft DeAndre Swift in the back of my head. That's why I said Gurley.
Man, I'm interested to just see where OJ Howard goes. For my team, Doug Williams, you listen, bruh. Riverboat, you listen, bruh. Whatever you fellas do, Schneider, we keep it our first. We rock it out with our first tonight. We're going to rock out with our cocks out at number 2. And
make it a quick night. That's my advice for you. Put in that 2 and go to sleep.
Yep.
That's what I would do. I'm putting in that second round pick, and I'm not listening to any phone calls. I'm not listening to any trades. I'm done. Unless it's for Ryan Kerrigan, and then I might move him.
Yeah, he's got a swear that is a contract that I would not mind unloading, to be honest. And that man has 8 on him right now.
He's also a 3-4 outside linebacker. You're running a 4-3 now with Montez Sweat and Chase Young, so he's not necessarily a scheme fit.
Exactly. Moving on. I've seen. So first off, I want to congratulate you and Connor Burke on you guys' mock draft on Rumboyz.com. If you guys have not read that mock draft, checked it out. It's probably the most accurate mock draft on the internet that I've seen.
Don't say that. So when like 40 or 50 of these picks are wrong, I don't want to hear any of that. So look, this is off of our boards. We were not trying to predict the pick. I want to put that out there. For me and Connor Berg, this is not a predicted pick draft. This was off of our grades, our own personal rankings, that we put a draft or a mock draft together that we liked and we felt comfortable with. So I just want to preface that.
Hey, well, we blew that article up this morning. Mad people following it, checking it out. So make sure you guys do too. I found something interesting. So you think you still have Isaiah Simmons as a fit for New York? Now there's been a lot, and I mean a lot, of rumors circulating that New York might move that, and New York might maybe not really fully know what they're wanting to do this early in the draft. What are you thinking about New York maybe scaling back a pick or two?
You know what? I think it makes sense because they want Isaiah Simmons. And the one little note, we all want to talk about Dave Gettleman loves building in the trenches. He's never spent a first-round pick on an offensive tackle. He's never done it. And I think he more so likes building up that defense. And if you look at the Giants linebacking core, I like Lorenzo Carter as a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's cool. You have one of the Arkwara brothers. It's not Julian. It's someone. And then they also drafted O'Shane Jimenez last year, who had a third-round grade on. They got in the 5th. So they have some decent talent at that linebacking core. If they get Isaiah Simmons and move back, I don't know. Let's say the Chargers move up, for example. Say they really want to, or they want Justin Herbert desperately. They can move back to that 6th pick, and let's say the Lions grab Okuda. Those quarterbacks go off the board. You can get Isaiah Simmons at 6, accumulate some draft picks, and you're still looking good. So I think Dave Gettleman knows what he's doing in this situation, but it's going to become more so situational, and I don't think he's going to trade it on the clock.
But is it worth it for him to maybe very well possibly potentially go for this guy here that you locked at number 5? And that's one Jeffrey Okudah to the Detroit Lions. Now, I've been hearing that, hey, they're looking to maybe bounce back from, a couple of years ago fucking up with Eli Apple. They feel like, hey, we can scale back, and if we don't go Simmons, we can go Okudah, which Simmons, I think, is the second best defensive player in this entire draft.
You said Okudah's second?
Yes, thank you for that. Don't know hype over on Sportscaster. A6DA with the 20. Appreciate it, my dog.
I mean, to me, Isaiah Simmons is the second best defensive player in this class. He's my number 2 overall player, actually. Shockingly enough, it goes Chase Young, Isaiah Simmons, Jeff Okudah, and then Burrow's my number 4. So, I mean, I got Simmons going high. It would be perfect. I don't feel a need that the Giants need to move back, in all honesty. You want football players. You want good football players, and that's what Isaiah Simmons is. He's not one specific piece that you fill into this niche like, oh, he's just a run stopper. He can only play coverage. He can't wrap up. Isaiah Simmons is a safety, linebacker, slot corner, halfway defensive end.
Okay. I can dig it. I mean, I was just curious because I've been hearing like they could scale back and they could maybe go for a corner like Okudah, which me personally, I'm not sure if I like that. And more I'm hearing that the Lions are, as we're in our last 3 hours here, countdown to the draft. Make sure you guys join us live for the draft tonight. Rumboyz draft party. It's going to be going down. It's going to be lit. If you guys want to be on the panel for tonight and, you want to announce your team's picks or, you're just trying to party a bullshit with the fellas, let me know. Hit me on them DMs. One of the things I'm finding interesting is it's sounding like the Lions are now distancing themselves a little bit away from locking in at a corner and locking in on Okudah. And it sounded like maybe they could try and pursue Simmons themselves, or maybe they could see if
the Lions
fall to them. Yes, I've been hearing that they could allow Tua to fall to him.
Look, we've all been mocking Jeffrey Okudah and Isaiah Simmons. I've heard that if the Lions move back, their main target is Derek Brown. I hate that. Derek Brown is not my number 1 IDO in this class. It's Javon Kinlaw. I think that'd be a massive reach unless they move back to like 15. So I don't like that, but if they do it, it fills a hole at that interior defensive line position, that nose tackle after they cut Damon Harrison. As for the Giants potentially going after Jeffrey Okudah, it's not going to happen. They just drafted DeAndre Baker. They have terrible history with drafting corners high. Not even high, just in general. So I just don't see the need. They have a lot invested in that secondary already, and I think they just need to let it see how it plays out for a little while.
I believe you mentioned a name there, a hometown name for me. Javon Kinlaw, he's from DC.
I love Kinlaw. He's my number one IDO. Interior pass rusher. He has potential to get in my opinion, he compares very well to Chris Jones out of the Chiefs. Like the measurables, the size, the athleticism. It's almost an uncanny representation.
He's from Washington D.C., so I'm gonna be excited to see him play, see where he goes. I've been hearing like the Cowboys could go for him. I hope that's not the case. You had him
Cardinals
to the Cards.
There's rumors that the Cardinals want to move back and possibly draft Kinlaw. So if they trade back with like the Broncos, that would be a target with them, him or Chason. But that's really it. I know everybody's still talking about these wide receivers. I more so think that's a play for them to teams like the Broncos to move up to get one, because we already know the Broncos are in love with Jerry Jeudy, and I mean I kind of expected that. So I could see them moving up with the Cardinals, possibly trading a second-round pick, and the Cardinals filling that hole with that second-round pick that they lost.
The Broncos, I do think that they do move up to get Jerry Jeudy. I do wholeheartedly 100% believe that it is hands down that they make that move. I don't even know if necessarily we can call that a bold prediction or not. I mean, because you can never really predict a team moving up, but that is my biggest bold prediction of this draft. The Broncos, Denver, get hype. I'm predicting it here on the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Jerry Jeudy to your team. Get fucking hype. You're gonna love it.
Hey, this might just be me, but low key Super Bowl picks for next year. If Drew Lock takes that next step, I'm just saying.
Mr. Rock from my city.
Hey, if you want to put like a little $10 bet on the Broncos to like win the Super Bowl, it's just like I got $10, whatever. Hey, I'm not saying it's out of the possibility.
I'm not. Hell no, bro. That roster is built like it's just there's a lot of mediocrity in that roster. Melvin Gordon, like come on.
I hate that signing. I already said it when they did that. I hated it. It's just gonna like deter Philip Lindsay from growing.
Really. Facts. And really quick, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we're here to talk mock draft, but stay away from the Broncos running backs when it's time to draft in fantasy football.
Stay away.
After this draft is 100% complete, after this weekend, next week, probably late next week for Rumboyz After Dark, we will be announcing what leagues we will be doing for the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. I plan to have 3 leagues for our company alone. We'll have our office league, Rumboyz versus Fans League, and then us competing against a couple of analysts. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna announce how you guys can get in those leagues. This is the beginning. Tonight is the beginning of your fantasy football season, because now we know where all these rookies are gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, I bet y'all heard that through my mic, but yeah. The joys of being 17.
But shit. But tonight is where it all pretty much begins. And where you guys want to pretty much start getting pen and paper out and be like, okay, you know, if Jerry Jeudy goes to the Broncos, does that affect Cortland Sutton? Like,
yes, I'm coming out and saying it right now. The Broncos get Jerry Jeudy. I have Jerry Jeudy going at minimum 1,000 yards this year, no matter what team he's on.
If the Jags pop up with the receiver, which they tend to, they just released Marquise Lee, who is now a New England Patriot.
Okay, hold up. Can we not act like that was a surprise? Like, that was not a surprise.
It was not a surprise.
He was due $8 million, had a $2 million dead cap, and was never healthy.
But does that? But now, if they go and get one in the draft this year, and depending on what one, do we worry about DJ Chart? Do. So there's a lot of questions there. If you have questions right now,
Put them
just
in the chat.
in the night, yeah, post them in the chat and know that
we'll answer.
have 10 more questions. You know,
any questions, we'll go through the chat at the end and answer them. We got hours before this starts, so we ready.
Mm-hmm. What are some of your bold predictions?
I'm gonna say we finish off the night with at least 10 trades.
Okay, 10 trades. I think before the show you said Tua drops out of the top 10.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. That's if, from what I'm hearing, the Chargers, if they draft a quarterback, it will be in the second or third round. They don't want to spend a first round pick if they're eyeing it at an offensive tackle in the first round. More than likely to play left tackle, so I'm almost certain that's going to be Jedrick Rose or Andrew Thomas, especially after Mekhi Becton just failed that drug test and he's going to be falling.
So how much validity are you putting into the Carson Chargers? Oh, I'm sorry, Los Angeles Chargers, to not go after a Jordan Love?
I mean, I love Jordan Love, not just because it's me. I think that he has the best arm in this class, no doubt. It's just all up here, and that can be very, very scary. But if you put him in a system where you have a Keenan Allen, where you have a Mike Williams, where you have a Hunter Henry, where you have a very, very improved offensive line, you have Austin Eckler, you have Justin Jackson, and you have a good defense, so he's not going to be in this bad field position all the time. If the Chargers were to go after a quarterback, I would almost 100% tell them, screw Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's the most overrated quarterback in this class.
Yeah.
Way overrated. Forget Tua and that injury. You don't need that. You are a team built to win now. Get the guy with the most potential, and you can almost secure that he's not going to be the bust, and that's his biggest issue is just up here, and having all that talent around him is going to help.
Go Clown. We mocked that you guys go Simmons with your first pick. Rumboyz.com mocked that you guys will go Simmons. But you're right. Wirfs and Thomas are pretty close neck and neck in terms of talent. Justin Herbert is a bust. I could see that. If you guys remember, I complained a lot about Herbert not really like he doesn't play with swagger, bro. Like he's not entertaining.
He's an introvert.
In his 3 in Wisconsin, that shit was dope.
Look, he's an introvert. It is what it is. That's just who he is. You can't really knock him for that. I'm not gonna knock him for that. While a lot of the scouting thing is personality, and to be a quarterback, you almost do need to be an extrovert and be that big, loud leader in a sense. But I'm not going to knock him for that. It's more so what he does on the field, and it's how he gets inside of his own head. 23% of his passes this past year were screen passes. That's huge. Next closest in the NFL, 18%. That's Kyler Murray, and the next closest after that is 14%. So he's never going to throw like that. If you look at his best games, he did nothing. His best game was against Colorado. And while that tape is insane, and that's the only reason he's probably still in these first-round discussions, if you get rid of that Colorado game against one said Laviska Shenault, who you love, Robbie, but you get rid of that Colorado tape, he's not in the first round at all.
I agree. We all know that this was not the quarterback that I was high on. I felt that it was Burrow, Tua, and then those two are just in a tier of their own entering this draft. Those two are just doing their own thing. You know, they're 100% bona fide NFL ready. Jordan Love, I feel like probably maybe sit for a year. I do not like the comparison that came out today. I can't remember what analyst.
Somebody calling Patrick Mahomes.
Someone compared him to Jay Cutler, and that I was like, that's really fucking offensive. I was like, that's really offensive. I was like, I get this.
How do you go? Okay, I feel bad for
interceptions, but still,
he went from getting compared to Mahomes to Jay Cutler in a week.
Bro, it was some jackass shovel face analyst. I cannot remember the dude's name, man. I cannot. I want to say what's his name. He used to be a Jets quarterback.
Chad Pennington?
No, not Chad Pennington. Chad Pennington will never make no shovel face analysis like that. Damn it. Not Sanchez. I would have known if it was Sanchez. Hey, dude, I can't remember this kid, man. I can't remember this guy. Sexy, he played Greg McElroy. There we go. There we go. Yeah, the Smoking J reference. Oh my gosh, yeah, that shit. Whoa, blew me up this morning. So yeah, I think Jordan Love though is probably the third best quarterback, and then we could go Justin Herbert.
I'm debating on whether or not I want to put Herbert as my 5 at this point. I'm kind of rising on Jacob Eason as of right now. I just see his arm and everything like that. And I mean, I see Herbert's arm and all of his intangibles and the measurables, but
Eason played for 4 years in college, right?
Yeah, and so did Herbert.
Yeah, but Eason,
Herbert should have came out last year.
But the thing with Eason.
Okay, wait. Let me retract that statement about Eason. Eason was in college for 4 years, but he did not play for 4 years.
Okay, I just feel like we've been following this kid for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel I've now more so watched a lot of his older tape when he had a lot of those more speedier Washington receivers.
He only played at Washington for 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. He was in Georgia before that.
Yes, and I remember
ironically enough, Jake Fromm took his spot.
I was just about to say that exact same thing. You're right, because Fromm replaced Eason. And I really like what I saw out of the kid at Washington. I felt that at many times I was like, this kid looks like an NFL ready, you know, and the fact that he dealt with a lot of the adversity that he dealt with, and a lot of the pressure that, in terms of the pocket collapsing around him, that he dealt with, I was impressed. You want to talk about a kid that's quiet and can play, but still impressed me? Jacob Eason. Herbert doesn't.
Report coming out, Bill O'Brien is trying to move up into the late first round.
Oh, Bob. Yo, should we call Miles right now and see if he's going to have a fucking panic attack?
Yeah. I mean, they'll probably trade. Deshaun Watson will be in the trade, so.
Hey, that's your co-chief editor. That's your co-chief editor. You check on your coworker, bro. Text him like, hey, how you feeling, man? Bro, watch. He's gonna throw a fit. Are you texting him now?
I'm gonna DM him on Twitter.
Yo, oh my gosh, this is gonna be fucking great. You guys are probably gonna see a live reaction of someone just completely whipped shit. Josh Jones or Glandy? Is that what you're thinking? QC for who? Raiders?
Josh Jones or Gladney? That's probably for the Vikings, and I love Gladney.
Yeah,
and I love Gladney.
Yeah. Because Goquan asked who.
Okay, Trade. Why do I feel like you just put that name so you want me to hear it? You just want to hear me say it.
Which one?
Noah Igbenogany.
Oh fuck no. Whenever O'Brien is trying to trade with, do it, because he's probably offering the next 5 seconds. Oh my gosh. Should my Bears trade up, Robbie? Jordan, take that one first.
Bears trade up?
Yeah, should the Bears trade up?
I mean, it depends how far you're talking about when it comes to trading. And it depends what you want. If you want a quarterback, yeah, I'd trade up. I don't believe in Nick Foles. I'm sorry to burst your bubble if you're a Bears fan. I don't believe in Nick Foles. I don't believe in whatever you want to call Trubisky. I don't even call him a quarterback at this point. He's just a guy collecting a paycheck. But yeah, I'd trade up. If you want a receiver, I think that's an interesting play for you. A Brandon Ayuk,
Trubisky texted me. He said that he would love if you guys could sit down for an interview, Jordan.
Hey, look, I'll tell you right now. If we were in a QB battle, he'd beat me.
There you go.
He beat me. But let's also put in perspective. If he went over against any other starting quarterback in the NFL, he's taking that out. So let's keep it right there. So there's that. I mean, yeah. Again, it just depends what you want. He said we need a linebacker. Patrick Queen and Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray at latest is going 28 to the Ravens. Patrick Queen at this point looks like he's not going any later than 20. So they're both first rounders, and if you want to move up for one of them, you're paying next year's first. And as a Bears, I mean, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm not doing that.
So it sounds like we're all in on Kenneth Murray to the Ravens.
I mean, it's just a fit. He's a run stuffing middle linebacker who has the intangibles and the instincts to be the next great Ravens linebacker. I mean, it fits what they want. Since John Harbaugh's been there, I mean, we've seen countless times of him just using Ray Lewis to be that guy. I mean, we saw it with Terrell Suggs. And I know Terrell Suggs is an edge rusher, but just hear me out real quick. Kenneth Murray is probably the best pass rushing linebacker in this class, out excluding Isaiah Simmons. I'm not calling Isaiah Simmons a linebacker. Not saying that he's a defensive weapon. That's all you can call Isaiah Simmons. But he's the best edge. He's the best pass rushing linebacker, and I think that's just what the Ravens want.
Yo, Oasis Now 7. I'm absolutely positively with you. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm probably gonna lose my shit tonight when we get Chase Young, and then I am gonna lose my shit when we trade away Trent Williams, and we get some value out of that pick. So, yeah, let's go, baby. Because it's a deep wide receiver draft too. So we could probably, pull off some shit.
Mean, okay, but I still like a couple of your receivers. Steven Sims isn't a bad guy. I know you are very, very low on Kelvin Harmon, but I love Kelvin Harmon. I had him as a second round grade last year.
Baby Julio, bro. That's baby Julio.
Yeah, Kelvin Harmon I had pegged as a second rounder last year. So Chason is a 3-4 outside linebacker. I love Caleb Chason, top 10 player in the class.
If Ravens take Queen over Murray, I'm gonna be pissed. Not a huge
Queen
fan.
won't be there. Queen will not be there at 28.
Yep, I love Sims. Love Sims. Let's see here. What are you thinking about this chatter? I don't know if you've been on Twitter in the last few hours. Henry Ruggs being the first receiver taken off the board. Something I definitely do not like. How am I taking him away from you when I'm the pick ahead of you? I'm not taking anything away from you because I'm the pick ahead. Passes will be much improved this year. Oh, absolutely. Dude, Kelvin Harmon is baby Julio, and he even looks like baby Julio. He's 17.
My sister just asked me what draft it was tonight. She asked if it was basketball or football. Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, Henry Ruggs, possible first receiver off the board. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Cap. No. He's probably my wide receiver 4 now. Yes, I said it 4. I have Justin Jefferson ahead of him. I change every day to day on between those two. He's miles behind Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, as everyone else in this class is. And then I just like Justin Jefferson's ability to separate, which you'd be thinking Justin Jefferson doesn't have that on tape, really. He's still better at it than Henry Ruggs, because Henry Ruggs is John Ross 2.0. I'm sorry. John Ross did not have the best hands. Henry Ruggs does not have the best hands. Henry Ruggs does not create separation. And to be quite honest, if you're looking for a fast wide receiver, KJ Hamler is. I mean, he had a bad 40 time, but if you look at him on tape, he's a lot faster than what he ran
Yeah,
at
he's
the
a lot faster on film than what he ran at the combine.
so I would not take what John Ross is gonna go for in the first round, which is probably in that 15 to 20 range. I'd rather spend a second or third round pick on KJ Hamler. That's
But
just me.
Henry Ruggs. No, I think I don't like him as a first receiver off the board. Third receiver off the board, absolutely. It's gotta go Judy. It's gotta go Lamb, then Judy. You're splitting hairs with those two. It can go either way, honestly. It can go either way.
Yeah, it can, and I can understand why you like CeeDee Lamb, but I'm very sold on Jerry Judy. Very sold.
I mean, I'm absolutely sold as well. Believe me, I have nothing negative to say.
No, he's my wide receiver one, no doubt about it. Nobody else is convincing me anything else.
I've gone back and forth on these two. I'm day and night with them. One of the two will be the first ones off the board, and then after those two are gone, then Ruggs. I'm hearing about Jalen Reagor moving up a lot. The Eagles looking at Reagor. That interests me because I'm like,
From what I've heard, the Eagles love Denzel Mims. That's what I've heard.
That one as well. Mims
I've heard that they are sold on Denzel Mims.
Oh, they love anyone that can drop the ball.
Denzel Mims didn't really have drop problems. He had one of the lowest drop rates in his career. Yeah, no, he had one of the. You're getting him confused with somebody else. Denzel Mims had one of the lowest drop rates throughout his time at Baylor in the past 3-4 years.
I want to go back and look at that.
Nah.
I want to go back and look at that. He had drop problems. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, and he really only catches like 2 fucking routes. And luckily, one of those routes is a fade route.
I'll give you that. He does really like a fade route.
Yeah, fade routes in the intermediate shape. Yeah.
That's what the Eagles need. So that's what the Eagles need.
Fucking 24 drops in 2 seasons? Hell no.
I think okay, whoa. I think you mean I think 24 was 3 out of all 3 seasons, which is more acceptable. I did not see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm on that ass with this one. Trust me, I picked that apart because I was like, yeah, I got this guy like 7 or 8. So, yeah, he loves that back shoulder fade, GMM. He loves it. Look, Jordan Love's going to look it up now. He's going to look it up. He's looking it up. Bro, I just did a piece on it. That's how I know. That's exactly how I know.
He had 7 this past year. That's cap. I just looked it up. He had 7 this past year, and you're saying he had
past year
12.
Past year. He had 17 across 2 seasons, bro. 17 drops across the span of 2 seasons. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's not good. But 7 this past year is not bad.
Yeah, the final 7 were this year.
Yeah, okay, but I'm saying 7 in a season in college is not bad.
Dropping 24 fucking balls, period.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
10 to 12 games anyways.
Yeah. Did he ask how they're doing the draft? Yeah, the draft is going to be fully online. Speaking of how they're doing it, hold up. Jerry Jones came out and said to everybody and made this clear. He went to the scouting department. He went to the coaches. He went to the water boys on the end of the bench. Do not call me, text me, blow up my phone, nothing. I'm doing this draft for myself, and nobody's going to be in my ear. So I'm letting you know right now, the Dallas Cowboys will have the worst draft this year.
The fact that he actually said that. So the Cowboys are interesting from that perspective, and the Lions are interesting from the fact that Bob Quinn has an IT guy camping out in a freaking Winnebago in his driveway.
Yo, I respect it.
I mean, at all costs, right? At all costs.
Yeah, I respect it. You're not because look, if you don't put that pick in, you go down 2 spots. If you don't put that pick in on time, you drop 2 spots, and then you have a chance to pick again. So look, they mess up and they don't get that pick in, you're moving down to 5. Or no, you're moving down to 6 technically because those two
Yeah.
people in front of you move ahead of you because you lose 4 and 5. Ugh.
Is that the Cowboys taking Shea Patterson?
No, I'll give him Jalen Hurts in the first.
Here's what I want to ask. Here's exactly what I want to ask. As long as we are talking about the Dallas freaking flipping Cowboys, dude. He was talking to Jalen Hurts. Jerry Jones has been talking to Jalen Hurts. That is very correct. And he loves Jalen Hurts. That would not surprise me.
If he takes him in the first round, he's an idiot. Jalen Hurts is a 3rd to 4th round quarterback.
Yeah, he'll wait. He'll replace back with another 4th round QB. Like, it'll be fine. But no, what I find interesting, do you really think that these fools are going to roll into the season with Blake Jarwin as their starting tight end? And just think about from a fantasy standpoint, sitting there, you're ready to draft your tight end. You already missed out on all the top tight ends. Like, how pissed are you? Like, if Blake Jarwin is sitting there?
I mean, it's unlikely, but knowing that Blake Jarwin just got paid, he's probably going to have to play it. Personally, you could spend a 4th round pick in this draft and probably find a better tight end. Hunter Bryant, Cole Kmet in the 3rd round is probably going to be there. Albert Okwuegbunam, who I love, it was my tight end 1 last year, even ahead of Noah Fant, and a guy who was considered baby Gronk. So he was my tight end 1 last year. If you look at the tape, it's night and day when he has Drew Lock throwing him the ball compared to A1 Kelly Bryant.
And the Prescott disrespect continues. Oh my god!
Look, I'm gonna disrespect Dak Prescott every single day of the week because dude is stupid for turning down $35 million over 4 years. For like 4 years in a row, you were getting paid $35 million, and you turn that down. I'm gonna clown you into eternity.
The fact that he had said that he was down for a 4-year contract and turned down a 4-year contract in lieu of wanting a 5-year contract, he just wants an extra year. Is the most childish, buffoonish, stoogish shit that I've ever seen. Dallas still pay the man because it's probably the best option that you have. I mean, unless you do go with Jalen Hurts in the later rounds. And then, yeah, I would probably rock with the person that's played in some very big games in college, bigger games than Dak ever played in. That would be sick. Jaylen, didn't you have the Cowboys trading for OJ Howard? Perhaps I don't think that
I had it on Rad, and I brought it up as a potential target for the Cowboys because they would give up one of those mid-round picks. But it's not a lock. Like, it's just one of those things where like there's tons of teams that are being interested in OJ Howard.
I absolutely. I mean, the problem is that with the OJ Howard thing is you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart when you're making that trade. Like we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the hour. Definitely, you're moving him for a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick. Yeah. I don't think that first and seconds are definitely out of the question for an OJ Howard.
They're long out of the question. Fun fact: did you know that OJ Howard was drafted ahead of Travis Kelce?
Yeah. Ironically enough, and guess who ended up in the better position? And actually, let's talk about that really quick. What team that's going to be drafting later in these rounds throughout the duration of the draft that's really going to shine here? Because that's where you really find the hidden talent. A few picks end up in shitty towns with shitty.
I'm going off the 2 teams that are represented right here and had great drafts last year off of my board. The Redskins had a great draft in those later rounds, so did the Cardinals. They took advantage of players that were dropping on other people's boards because of these small little issues. But they're looking at the broader scheme of things and seeing that these guys are just good football players, even if they don't test well. The Redskins looked at it with Kelvin Harmon. He dropped to the 6th round. Again, I'm mentioning him a lot. I have full-headed faith in Kelvin Harmon that he will end up being a viable receiver in this league.
Bro, if you're in dynasty fantasy football and you have Kelvin Harmon heading into this 2nd year, you're solid. You're about to be so fucking solid. You
As long
could probably trade him and get
as
cheap.
long as the Redskins don't add too many weapons, because there's a chance that the Redskins draft 3 to 4 wide receivers and a tight end in this draft, and then he's stuck in that depth. Same thing with like Hakeem Butler and Andy Isabella, guys that were dropping. The Cardinals just took advantage of Zach Allen, who many people had as a top 50 player in the draft, fell to the 3rd round, scooped him up. So I'm gonna rock with these two teams here, just because off of my board, they went great last year.
Okay.
And as another side note, the Dolphins need to do well. Not saying they will, they need to.
So I want to analyze the Dolphins for a second. I think that mentally the Dolphins are looking at all of their goddamn picks, and I think that is a little bit of an overload for them having 14 picks. So I think that 2 or 3 of them get moved. I don't know when they choose to move those 2 or 3 picks. 2 or 3 of them are going to get moved. I do not want Miami to back out of the 1st round and back out of those first few picks. So with that being said, with that being stated, if you're Miami, you gotta try and get as much value as you can. Maybe you move your later in the draft picks, but stay in the 1st round, whatever you do, Miami. Get that value there, and then you can move the back end of the draft. You can move those back end picks.
Bogart, that is the most absurd thing ever. Go on. I don't want to hear about the whole Daniel Jones thing.
Yeah.
Man fumbled too much. He has the Carson Wentz issue. If he stops fumbling, he's okay. And if you want to bring up rookie QBs with battle lines, the Cardinals gave up the 3rd most sacks in the NFL last year to Kyler Murray, and he still won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Look at that.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not. Really
and also, Dwayne Haskins in those last 4 weeks balled out. The last month of the season.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, that's one of those things. That's one of those things where it is what it is. And that's one of the things that I like that we do so differently is, yes, I'm wearing my Redskins gear. You're wearing your Cardinals gear, but never once. I mean, occasionally may there be, a little like laughy, jokey joke bias take. But at the end of the day, we're going to come back to reality, or someone on the staff will bring us back to reality. And hey, I know that you're a fan of that team, but you can admit that, your quarterback carousel in Washington, Robbie, was completely a shit show. Your whole organization last year was like, and I can agree with that. Like,
Look,
I'm reality thing.
Hey, I almost posted this on Twitter earlier. I almost posted this. I said, what are y'all thinking about the draft? Are you 1, happy because it's the draft and we have some sports news? 2, anxious seeing like what your team's going to do? Or 3, scared about what your team's going to do? I would be scared because Steve Keim is my GM. I'm a Cardinal fan. I'll let you know, Steve Keim is the dumbest GM in the NFL.
Yeah, we don't need you.
Make that clear.
Pissed off again. No, dude. I'm excited. I feel all 3 feelings. Dan Snyder's our owner, so I mean he's gonna fuck something up at some point because he's Dan Snyder. That's just in his DNA. I'm also worried because we always end up with decent draft grades and never do anything. We're one of those teams that, like, at the end of the draft, this looks really great, and then we get into the regular season.
I gave you an A+ last year.
Yeah, I know.
Probably the best draft.
Yeah, I mean, and drafts do take time to really take on.
Yeah, you cannot grade a draft class until that first wave of rookie contracts. So you cannot fully grade it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that there. I mean, but I am also excited that we have some sports, and I am also really honestly excited. There is one that you did not mention. I'm excited that this now solidifies the beginning of the fantasy football season, the beginning of us getting our fantasy football analytics out.
It's time to redeem myself,
bro. I am going to spank you again, Jordan Love. Like,
hey, look. My whole life, I've gotten by fantasy football by just knowing who was good in football, like knowing who a good football player was. Now I actually have to get good at looking at analytics and finding out about fantasy football. So I'm finally doing that for the first time. So Hopefully, I come back. All right,
We'll see. Leafs defense says I'll take Steven Montez, and that is actually one of my late like day 4 like or like
UDFAs.
yeah, right now.
UDFA.
He's unrestricted free agent. I could very well see him like pretty much being like a very end like 6th round pick to like unrestricted free agent. But Montez he'll practice squad somewhere. We gotta wait next year. Oh, we do, and I can't wait for this year.
Yeah. So when the Giants are at the bottom of that division, hit me up.
I'm gonna grab another beer really quick, Jordan Love. Keep the people entertained for like fucking 2 minutes or so.
All right, cool. Anybody got any questions?
Talk about your article. Promote yourself.
Anything. Got a mock draft. We've been looking at that throughout this video. So if anybody's been here, you've seen that. Rumboyz.com, Twitter, Rumboyz Day Love. I'm on there periodically. Wouldn't say I live on Twitter, but I'm on there a decent bit. Them fumbles were more than an issue, Gokuan. He had like what? Was it 26? Was how many fumbles was it? Was it 26? Yeah, Bogart, you already asked me about that. I said I got you.
What?
He wants me on his podcast.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
I told him I got him next week.
Here's one team that we didn't talk about. This team always drafts at the ass end of every draft because, well, they never have to worry about really relying on the draft. The Patriots, what do you think that they do?
They're probably the X factor out of this draft class. I've heard that they love Jordan Love at 23. I heard that they like Jake Fromm in like the 2nd round. Very happy about Nuke. But yeah, they're the X factor. They're gonna do good in the late rounds. Just what Belichick does. So that's really it. They're gonna draft good in the late rounds. It'll be interesting to see who they roll out with their starting QB next year. Whether that's Cam Newton, whether that is I already addressed it. Whether it's Cam Newton, whether it's Jordan Love, whether it's Jake Fromm, whether it's even Jacob Eason. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, what's up, Wisco Boy 92? You said, are you excited about having Nuke?
Very. Gonna get me a jersey in here in a few weeks.
Hell yeah.
Fitz about to retire, so now I gotta get Fitz 2.0.
The fact that Gokwan is using this whole segment
right to defend Daniel Jones
draft is the most hilarious thing. It's like we're on this year's draft. You gotta let that go.
Right.
We're here.
So look, if you here's my thing. If you really think that Daniel Jones is the guy, get him a left tackle. get him tackles.
We're gonna see tonight what they do. It's always interesting when David Gettleman's calling the shots. David Gettleman with this one picture of the city of New York behind him and his fucking.
I've said it before. A couple of these top picks are going to be super impactful. There's going to be a few picks that everybody's going to look back on and be like, "Why did they do that?" Franchises are made and built through the later rounds. Days 2 and 3 are where franchises are made. You look at the Patriots. You look at the Seahawks. They always trade back and accumulate late round draft picks to really get those guys. You look at how they built the Legion of Boom and won a Super Bowl. Who were all those guys on that team? Outside of Earl Thomas going in the 1st round, Cam Chancellor, late round pick, Richard Sherman, late round pick, Bobby Wagner, 2nd round pick, Russell Wilson, 3rd round pick. You just have to look at that and see days 2 and 3 are actually probably more impactful to a team than day 1.
Bro, I'll never forget that. Like I was sitting back watching. Man, what I can't remember what year that Russell Wilson draft was. Damn.
2006.
06?
Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson? No, it wasn't 06.
No, it was way close. No, it was like 2012.
2012? Yeah, 2012. Yeah, damn. See, I'm old, bro. I'm old. I'm old. That's one of them things where age kicked in. 2013 says Connor. Damn, I can't
Was it
remember.
2013? It was 2012, 2013. It was 2012, Connor. Sit down. 2012. It was 2012.
I remember sitting down with my dad, and like he was like, "Why are you excited that this dude got picked?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, for a baseball player, like I'm like this kid's gonna come in and sling it, da da da." And then sure enough, like I had hit on that Russell Wilson shit, bro. I had hit on Russell Wilson, and then Russell Wilson had to face down against RG3 in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, and then y'all got worked.
And then RG3 blew that knee.
Yeah.
If
well,
it
re-blew it. Re-blew it.
Yeah, he actually and that was the first kind of example of why not to rush a player back from injury.
Yeah.
Like that was like the biggest example. I was like, gosh, I'll forever know Russell Wilson as a person that ended RG3's career.
Yeah, Jake, I figured that would kind of be how it is. I think we all know what that positive drug test was for, and that's not really going to be an issue in the NFL after this new CBA.
Yeah, the new CBA. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Oh my gosh, Wisco boy, bringing back them serious. Yo, where did that comment go? I need that comment. He said y'all had McVay, Shanahan, and LaFleur. Like, bro, we had the whole cast to make Jay Gruden look like he had done all the work on that class project, and really he was just a person taking credit for it. And meanwhile, all these dudes in the background were doing all the work. You are right, Wisco boy. You are right. Don't be tuning, Jaylen to Dallas. I spoke about that earlier. I
buy it. I buy it.
I buy it. Yeah, I'm down with it. Like, I'm down with it.
Sorry, I'm looking outside. My dog's trying to eat a fly. It's just funny.
I just let him let it.
No, Goquan. I hate when people call Mekhi Becton a top 3 offensive tackle. Mekhi Becton is a top 3 massive human being. He's not really a refined offensive tackle. He's just a big dude out there moving.
So you're not buying that he could be the first tackle off the boards?
No. And if he is, whoever drafts him is getting an F. I'm telling you right now, if Mekhi Becton is the first offensive tackle off the board, no, forget even first. If he's a top 15 pick, it's an F in my draft grades. It's an F. Bro. He's my 5th offensive tackle.
I can't wait. Wait for the draft tonight. It's gonna be lit to see that.
If he does go, it'll be very, very sad that you won't be able to see my reaction.
It is going to be very sad, actually. I cannot believe that you're not going to be on with the rest of the panel. By the way, if you guys are trying to get on with us tonight, trying to be on the panel, DM me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Rumboyz, spelled with a Z. N-E-T is where you can find me. And yes, I am, being careful about who I let into the live. Like, you got to have hot takes. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Goquan, I agree.
Bro, I think so. So you got mad at me when I said I like Andrew Thomas as the best.
No, I agree. That's cap. Andrew Thomas is my OT1. Okay. I will go right off the bat. My top 5 offensive tackles, and I'll even go 6. Thomas, Wirfs, Wills, Josh Jones. We're going Mekhi Becton, Ezra Cleveland. And then if you want even further, and we're going even further into day 2, you can go Lucas Niang, Matt Pert. I'm really high on. I actually really like Matt Pert. Prince Tegewinogu is a 3rd to 4th round guy who's good, and then Jack Driscoll. And I also really like Trey Adams if he can stay healthy.
There we go.
He just needs to slide more. It's funny because Wirfs and Thomas issues are the complete opposite of each other. Wirfs slides too much and he gets beat on the inside, and Thomas doesn't slide enough, so he gets beat on the outside by speed rushers. That's their biggest issue. You fix those. And that's why Wirfs is being projected as a guard because he slides too much, and he can't really slide too much because he has guys on both sides of him if he plays guard.
GM Jason Litch for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has stated, "We are excited about having O.J. Howard play with Rob Gronkowski.
Ooh.
Why wouldn't we want to have many weapons at that position?"
Wait, they're going to trade Brate then?
Someone's getting moved.
Someone's getting moved.
We have an excellent tight end group right now.
Right now. Nope, there it is. There it is. He said right now, which means he didn't say moving forward. He didn't say for this upcoming season. He said right now, which means I still think he can get moved.
I think he's going to get moved. There's been too much talk that would possibly move him to where I don't think he's going to move. Tree, I'm going to check out your audition article later. I got the screenshots that you sent me. It still won't let me open up that the doc with that link. But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling with that. I think he still gets moved. That's going to be interesting. Tonight's the night, guys. Tonight's when things get finalized, where we finally know where these rookies go, what teams they go to. And I couldn't be more excited. And I feel like we have a very deep draft at the whole offensive line and between the wide receiver position.
Look, this is the most talented draft in the past 5 years at almost every position. This draft, you're going to see guys going in the second and third round who even go back last year could be a first round pick. No, Jonathan Taylor will not be a first round pick. No.
But I do have the Seahawks somehow figuring out how they can get a running back. I don't think they're going to rely on Carson. And if the Seahawks draft
wait. Rashad Penny was picking it up last year at the end. Let's not forget, before he got hurt, Rashad Penny was eating.
But they both get hurt. The problem is if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, right, and you're evaluating your running back situation, you know that guys get hurt in that system at that position. You need to have as many running backs as you possibly can have, especially for that team.
I just want to pick up on something that Trey had said. Jaylen Johnson is a first round pick, the corner out of Utah. I love Jaylen Johnson. He's the best tackling corner in this class, and I love corners that'll go up and take a hit and meet somebody at the line of scrimmage if they have to. So I love Jaylen Johnson. I think that he potentially could go ahead of Jeff Gladney. But again, those are guys that are going to go at the tail end of the first round, and if they fall into day 2, are steals.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to hit on. A pre-draft. I think we discussed all the potential trade scenarios.
Quick recap. You're gonna have a trade almost every other pick. The Lions, Giants are potentially moving back. The Cardinals are looking at moving back. I've heard rumors about the Niners moving back. Even going back into the later the first round, the Seahawks are potentially thinking about moving back. I've heard the Texans are trying to move up. I've heard, of course, we all know that the Dolphins are going to be moving all over, whether they move back at 18, whether they move up, whether it's the 26. They're going to be all over this draft, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
This may have a heart attack tonight.
Yeah, Dolphins, you're going to be going through a roller coaster of emotion. Literally, you're going to be sitting there for 5 minutes thinking, "Oh, I'm good," and the next thing you're going to know, "Oh no, they're going to take Tua with this pick." But I wanted Justin Herbert. And if you think that, you're stupid.
Facts. The Broncos could potentially move up. Philly, definitely you guys are going to lock in on a receiver.
I've heard they really love CeeDee Lamb. I've heard rumors that they want to move all the way up to 8. With the Cardinals, I've heard that they're potentially willing to give up a first this year and a first next year, move up all the way to 8.
It'll be interesting to see. Definitely interesting to see Yana Ngakwe, definitely a piece that's probably going to be moved tonight or tomorrow, if not Sunday. We'll see how much his antics on Twitter hurt him.
Yo, wait, hold up. Connor Burke, wasn't his brother a bust? Wasn't Rodrigo Blankenship? He had a brother that was drafted in the NFL, right? And the Bucks took him with like a 3rd-round pick, and he was a bust.
He's a
Wasn't he?
probably.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't Blankenship. It was Roberto Aguayo. He was drafted in the 2nd round. It was a kicker a few years ago.
You're definitely thinking about the Aguayos.
Yeah, I was thinking about Aguayo.
But no, I mean, definitely. What was I about to say? Oh shit. Oh yeah, I think that the Tua could possibly slide down draft boards due to the injury reports, over the last like a couple of hours, couple of days. Jalen Hurts could very well become a Dallas Cowboy. Could that hurt or impact Dak Prescott? We do not know. That could be very, very interesting. OJ Howard's going to get traded. Yannick's going to get traded, like I mentioned earlier. And yeah, that's pretty much all of my bold predictions. The Redskins do not trade away their 2nd overall pick. I'm here to refute that.
That's in stone. It's Chase Young. It's over. The draft does not start till 3.
Yeah. So I mean,
like literally, if you have to go do something, go do it at like 7:30 and hope you get back in an hour because you won't miss anything.
Facts. Make sure you guys link up with us. 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 Pacific. What's y'all Central Time? Fucking Central would be 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you guys link up with us within like the next 2 hours here. We'll be live.
Hey.
Jordan's going to be breaking social distancing orders.
I'll be on Twitter. If you have any questions, DM me. I'll have articles pumping out about some draft grades, off-season grades in general, going to some signings. So that'll be coming from me. I won't be on tonight, so it was fun sitting here talking with y'all. I'll be in the chat, so it was fun.
Fuck yeah. You can follow me at Rumboyz, spelled as ZNET. Follow this man at Rumboyz J Love. Check him out. I'm always dropping heat. Make sure you guys go check out our mock draft. Compare our mock draft to your mock draft. Leave a comment on rumboyz.com. If you have any type of disputes with it, that shit would be dope. You could drop a comment.
Leave me some comments, bro. I've got articles and I get like 200 to 300 views per post, and I don't have one comment.
Yeah,
so leave a comment. Let me get some discussions going, bro.
Yeah, everybody head to rumboyz.com and comment on the mock article. Yeah, I mean, anything else that you guys need, hit me up Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You know what it is. Rumboyz spelled as ZNET. Other than that, it's your boy Robbie. And yeah, I'm out of here. Would I break something if the Skins not draft Chase Young? It depends if we're moving back for Isaiah Simmons. Like,
you don't need Simmons though. You still got Reuben Foster coming.
Exactly. Yeah, Reuben Foster's gonna be back. So I mean, yeah, no, I might break something. We don't know. We don't know yet. Yeah, I'm confident in this draft. I'm confident in our mocks, which is weird because no other analyst really knows what the fuck is gonna happen tonight. And honestly, we don't either.
Yeah, I was just about to say we're not 100% sure, but let's hope we're the closest.
Yep. Cheers to me. Cheers to you, all the Rumboyz girls. What do? I will see you guys tonight for Draft Day Live.